Okay, hello everyone. This is a quick sharing on Bukit Sembawang Estates Limited's 57 AGM dated 28 July 2023. Right, we can see that given the numbers ended 31st March 2023, right, this financial year of 2023, the numbers are all quite bad. Right, revenue is down 31%. Right, profit before tax and after tax are all dropped by about 60%. Right, everything here is about a 60% drop lah. So EPS also dropped by 60%. Right, you can see that one of the issues with property developers is the lumpy revenue that they get. Right, you can see almost unpredictable. Right, if you look at the last financial year, it's mostly from completed projects, very little from properties under development. But this financial year, it appears that properties under development they sell better lah. Alright, so this maybe shows demand. Right, there is demand. Right, maybe because this one clearly shows that these are the completed projects that are sold, whereas here the properties are not even completed and they are sold already. Right, so this may reflect a higher demand in the certain segments of the real estate market. You can see rental and related income and hospitality income, which are more recurring, right, are very small parts of the pie, which is not a good thing lah. Which means that moving forward, revenue is likely going to be very spiky, right, or like lumpy lah, or cyclical lah, as they call it. Right, so they specialize in landed homes. I think not many property developers can do landed homes. They are one of them. So we'll see later the Pollen collection only has 51% sold. Right, then these two private residences, right, are more or less sold, and this one is a new private residence that I believe they just paid for the land. Right, so this service apartment, this is where their recurring revenue comes from. Right, so this is the private residence, the Allier is 98% sold, so that's good. This one is another private residence, 93% sold, again good thing. Right, Pollen collection is a limited release of 45 houses, but it's only 99-year leasehold. Right, so this is 51% sold, so this one is a bit slow. Right, so all these projects are actually still under construction, right, and with varying degrees of completedness. Right, so you can see the TOP ranges from 2024 to 2026. Right, so this is the new development at Bukit Timah Link. Right, this one is I think private residential as well. Alright, this one I think they just paid for the land. Later we'll see in the part of the report. Right, so there are new landed homes at Seletar. This one is 99-year leasehold, so I think more or less it's freehold lah, if you have 99-year leasehold. Right, so 156 landed houses. I would presume that this has been paid for as well, and this is where their recurring income comes from. Fraser Residence Orchard, right, is in Orchard Road, so I think the cost here is quite high. Right, so I think probably rich expats are the people that live in this area. Right, so here they discuss why they have issues with landed properties. Right, so there's a question on the fact that the group has a substantial land bank. Right, what is the strategy for its landed property developments? And they said that there are major challenges. Right, due to higher price point, they have a smaller pool of buyers, and most of these buyers have existing property and are concerned about ABSD on their second home, which is very high nowadays. I think it's 20%. Right, so if you buy a $1 million house, you basically have to be taxed 20% just for ABSD. Right, and that clearly is not a good thing when landed houses are clearly not a small purchase amount. Right, so the group is trying to say that they need to wait for these people to sell off their first property before they can buy a landed property lah. Right, so that's what this statement is trying to say. This one I don't think is very important. It's just about how come they suddenly sped up the sales of some of their private apartments. Right, so of all of these, so they are saying that given the group's ROE of 2.33% as compared to investing in treasury bills and bonds, which gives higher returns. Right, so they're trying to complain that the group is not very good, doing a lot of good things with their money. Right, so and the company respond to say that they need to use this money for potential acquisitions and land banking. Right, and these are the money. So this company is actually a pretty high net cash company, but I don't think they can unlock that cash anytime soon because of all these requirements that they have to wait for opportunities to buy land, and developing houses is a very expensive endeavor, right? So yeah, so they said that they have fully paid for the land at Bukit Timah as of 31st March 2023. As you'll see later that a lot of their cash has gone missing, right? Likely due to all these things. Right, so I think the rest you can read yourself if you want. Right, so I just went through the annual report. All these things has been covered earlier so I don't really want to talk about it. Yep, so they're talking about a unique marketing approach, which I don't think is a very big deal. Right, all these things are actually updated earlier, right? So remember this annual report is dated as of 31st March 2023, so I wouldn't look at this one. Right, yeah, so for the service residences, Fraser Service Orchard, right, as we were discussing earlier, the average room rate is $342 and it has an average occupancy of 87.7%, right? So yeah, I'm not sure why people would pay so much for an apartment, but I guess it does look very good. Yeah, I have a few pictures later I think that we can show you, right? So for the next year's prospects, we can see that they expect the real estate sector to grow slower than before, right? And private residential prices are expected to rise only moderately, right? So the cooling measures in April 2023 should drop demand from foreigners, and this means that only local residents are there to support sales. And I think this is the challenge that these stock faces, right? The fact that the high-end developments targeting foreigners would be missing Basically, the foreigners that normally buy these high-end developments would not be here anymore. Right. So anyway, yeah, this was just some nice pictures of the Fraser Residence Orchard, which is here costs $342. I presume this is a night Okay, it doesn't make sense for anything else. Right. Anyway, moving on. Right. Yeah, I think we discussed the cooling measures, won't repeat them. Yeah, I think this one we've all sort of discussed already, right? So you can see the 5-year financial summary. I just wanted to have a look at longer term in terms of finances. You can see that in terms of total equity, which is the value of the company itself, right? It can go up and down, right? You can see there's a move up here from 2019 to 2021, right? Then slight drop in 2022, but a little bit more of a drop in 2023, but more or less the total equity is the same But if you look at their cash, a lot of their cash has gone missing to presumably buy land banks, right? So anyway, I'll look at that a bit later. Here is just profit after tax. You can see that revenue and profit after tax can vary very much, right? You can see these 2 years a bit more consistent, right? This is the financial year involved, right? So these 2 years a bit more consistent. There's a boom here in this period, then go back down below baseline, and this is the worst year, right? And you can see profit after tax is really bad, right, as compared to the last 4 financial years, right? Hopefully in the near future it will stabilize and increase back, right? So big drop in earnings per share, we talked about that. But NTA is more or less stable. That means the assets are still there It's just that they probably took the cash and bought the land bank, right? So this is probably the reason why the cash and cash equivalents had a big drop, right? So here, I don't think there's too much to say. I believe they paid off these borrowings, right? So that's a good thing, right? And then there's some slight current liabilities that have popped up here, and yeah. Okay, so I don't think, so this is the cash flow statement. I realized that the last 2 years they are both cash flow negative, so their cash has been dropping from 728 million to 294 million, right? So this is the reason why they say that the cash needs to be kept for buying land, right? So with that, I'll end this presentation. This is just an introduction into the stock, right? Remember that it's not a recommendation to buy and sell. Thank you.